What's going on? It's Kato with the Wrestling Replay, and this is episode number 3 of Let's Talk About It. Now, today, I got a few things I want to get off my chest that I've been thinking about for a really long time. Well, most of 2020, to be honest, right? And it has to do with the WWE. Now, early on, in about March, I believe it was, in about March when the pandemic really started to pick up and things started to get bad, right? WWE had COVID cuts. My issue with that was there were certain superstars, Michael Bennett being one, who wanted to be released. He asked for his release, pre-COVID, pre anyone getting cut or anything like that. They wanted him and Maria to be treated as separate entities, like he's his own person and she's her own person. The contracts doesn't have to be locked together, nothing like that. He just wanted his release because he wanted to move on from the company. They told him no. All right. The pandemic starts, and then Michael Bennett is released. Not only is he released, but so is Maria Kanellis, who spent probably about 10 years with WWE prior to returning back again. The other thing is that she was on maternity leave. They just had a baby, so that was another thing. I'm like, man, they got fired not only in the pandemic, but they just, brought a child into this world. Like, that kind of sucks for $1 billion corporation to just cut people like that. And not only that, I believe it was a couple months after that, I believe it either was Stephanie McMahon or Vince McMahon got an award for saving $26 million in a month or $25 million in a month or something like that. But that was all part of the COVID cuts because you let go of so much talent and so many people who worked for you. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. You have to really go look up the story to actually get all the information correctly, because I'm just kind of going off of memory right now. Shortly after that, I ran across Ryback's YouTube channel. If you haven't seen Ryback's YouTube channel, you have to go check it out. It's like he's hilarious. Like, when you actually get to see Ryback, like the man, like he's like a real cool dude, man. So definitely go check out his page. But he pretty much talked about his situation with WWE and a lot of things that he went through that nobody would have known that he was going through. Like, he toughed up a lot of different situations, and I'm glad that he had all his ducks in a row, because I feel like at every turn WWE was trying to pretty much kick him out of the company, like find a way to let him go. And this is pre the Feed Me More Ryback, pre Ryback really getting as popular as he was. He pretty much had to finagle and make his own deal with WWE because he pretty much had him by the balls and they couldn't do anything. So he had the upper hand. So hearing stories like those, more recently, the whole third party thing going on where they don't want people on Twitch or anything like that. That is like, man, how do you continue to support a company who constantly treat their talent and their workers not like a family, but more so like workers, like pawns, essentially? It's kind of like, if you're not bringing me in millions of dollars, it essentially felt like they cared a little less about you as a person. Now, I could be wrong. I could be completely mistaken because I'm outside looking in, right? But just from the stories that have come out, we see the emotional response that Paige had when, she had to, they wanted her to delete her Twitch and stop going live and stuff like that. Recently, I've heard that she's still, going live and streaming like that. So that's awesome because that's therapeutic for her, and she's been through a lot. So kudos to you, Paige, and I'll support you any way that I can if somehow the hammer comes down on you. And I hope all fans do the same thing as well. But nonetheless, how can you support a company like that as a fan? And then I had to remember, and I had to look back at situations like The Undertaker retiring or Paul Bearer, what they did for him. And I'm like, when they care, it's like they really actually help, and they show how compassionate they can be. So I mean, everyone can go back and look at stories about different wrestlers who had different, opinions on WWE when working for the company. Some say it was like the best times of their life. Some say they didn't like the company and couldn't wait to get out of there. So it's a little weird. It's like a little give and take. You get different stories from different peoples. I guess depending on who you are and your journey and how it went really depends on your view of the company itself. So me as a fan looking back and really taking in all these stories, I really contemplated on not supporting WWE as I'm sitting here with a Johnny Gargano shirt on. But I'm, contemplating not supporting this company anymore. Then I quickly realized, like, how can I not support a company when I'm watching NXT right now? When some of my favorite indie stars, my favorite indie wrestlers finally hit that mountaintop, I guess you would call it, and really signed that big deal that they've worked so hard for, so long for, and that you supported them the whole way of their career, at least when you first started watching it until this point now. How do you not continue to support them without supporting WWE? I'm pretty sure they get a portion of their merch. I'm pretty sure when their match is on and the ratings go up, it looks good for them. You know what I'm saying? So that I came to that point and it was like, you know what? It's kind of hard to not support a company because there's no way I can turn my back on so many other wrestlers that I love that are a part of WWE. Only thing I can hope is that they're being treated fairly and getting what they deserve, everything they deserve. So that was my hope, man. It was like months of me actually really going back and forth and thinking about, should I continue watching this brand or not watching it? But ultimately, I was like, you know what? I'm going to continue watching. I'm going to continue to support the people that I like in the company. And I mean, that's really it. If they go to a different company, I'll support that company as well. For me, it isn't like a line. It isn't a war. I'm not going to support AEW and not support WWE or vice versa when it's people who I like that's a part of both companies. So I had to quickly, take a step back. But I really thought about it for a while. I really did. Now, that does bring me to the point of WWE right now having issues re-signing, a few of their superstars. They did re-sign Matt Riddle, so that was good. That's good business. He's very charismatic. I like the teaming with him and Jeff Hardy right now. I think they're going to be a fan favorite, especially when we're able to start packing back up the arenas. These are the type of guys that fans are going to love to see, love to get the autographs from, and just their charisma alone will carry this team to like the next level. And with that being Matt Riddle team with Jeff Hardy, it's going to definitely boost Matt Riddle's stock anyway. So it's like a double bonus for everybody. They re-signed him, but there's some other superstars. I didn't really get any names yet, but they were saying that their deal was significantly different compared to the deal that they was offered prior to whole COVID and everything. So it's looking like WWE is still trying to I guess penny pinch and make sure they save and budget. Now, I don't run a big business. I don't. Maybe this is the way that $1 billion business stay in business. All right, we seen companies fold in the past. WWE still here, so maybe this is how these big businesses stay in business by offering the type of deals that they're offering. Now, what I'm hearing, under my understanding of it, is that maybe they're going to offer these guys short-term contracts in order to sign them with hopes of when everything opens back up and get a little bit back more to normal and this type of sales that they're used to start coming back in, they're going to be able to offer these guys bigger deals. Now, AEW, if you are able to steal away some of these talents, I mean, there's a lot of guys or a lot of people on the WWE roster right now that if they need to be re-signed, that can be really big. I mean, let's think about it, man. Like AEW, you already have good talent over there, right? You already have good talent. Now, if you bring in the right people from the roster, don't just sign everybody just because they are a WWE guy. But if you bring in the right people from that roster and bring them to AEW, that could be a big blow. That could be a real big blow. Problem being, I hope you don't overpay. I hope you don't overpay in the sense of you're talking about and thinking about when things get back to normal, the type of revenue stream you used to have before when you was actually selling out arenas and things like that. Because if we get into a situation where COVID lasts, let's say another 2 years or something like that, I would hate for you to be in a bad financial spot, have all the talent in the world, but end up in a bad financial spot where you can't pay these guys or you have to let some people go, because that would really suck and look bad on the company. But you guys are, at the top for a reason. You got the money to spend, and I'm pretty sure you know how to spend it. But just outside looking in. But speaking of AEW, man, once again, man, these guys went above and beyond. Like, I swear, they're just earning more brownie points from me, like, day after day after day. I was reading an article recently about how they have signed Brody Lee's son to a contract. When he's of age, he's going to be debuting on the AEW roster. That's amazing. Not only are they still taking care of Brody Lee and his family right now, but you're talking about in the future, 10 years later, when he's 18, like, he's going to have a spot on the AEW roster. How awesome is that? I don't know if he'll be a wrestler, a commentator, cameraman, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that these guys have really just went head over heels and made sure that this family was okay, and that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You guys have done a great job with that. Now, on another serious note, Mick Foley recently went out on Twitter and said that he has COVID-19. He has the virus, and it's been 18 days since he has been by himself inside of a hotel room, pretty much quarantining until this virus is out of his system. You guys got to be careful, man. We gotta be careful. We don't really know what this disease will actually do to you if you catch it. Like me, myself, like, it wouldn't be good. Like, I have asthma. My lungs are already trash regardless. So I don't want no parts of that. Y'all keep that COVID over there. But as far as Mick Foley, man, he's older. He's older, and it sucked because he missed the holidays with his family. That's one. And two, it's like 2020 ended on a horrible note, especially for us wrestling fans. I do not want to start 2021 off with, a legend like Mick Foley, worst case scenario, not making it, man. So I really hope that, he continued to stay on top of this virus like he has been. My prayers go out to him and his family, and I really hope that he pulls through. On a little bit more positive note, we are heading into one of my favorite times of the year, Royal Rumble season. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I think should go down at the Royal Rumble, how I would like to see this roll into WrestleMania. And most importantly, it got to do with one person, the Tribal Chief, right? I'm going to tell you exactly what I would love to see happen. Now, I know it probably won't happen, but it's cool. But let's think about it. This year, it's hardly any crowd going to be at WrestleMania, right? So there's no need to waste your ace. No need to waste your ace card and have Roman Reigns versus The Rock. We could save that for later, right? Now, the way I look at it, Roman Reigns is Thanos right now. He is Thanos. I'm telling you. The Universal title. Got Jey Uso. Got Paul Heyman. He needs 2 more stones, one being The Rock. So it's just 1 more stone left. And I think that stone should be revealed at the Royal Rumble. That stone should be no other than Jimmy Uso. Jimmy is set to return anyway, I think, for action in December or January. So, yeah, we're here now. Jimmy should be 100%. I hope he's 100%, because let's think about it like this. We have Jimmy Uso going to the Royal Rumble. We already seen Jimmy Uso in this last talk with his brother after he pretty much was like, hey, look, man, you ain't got to listen to Roman. Let's go, man. Let's roll out. So he doesn't like how Roman is treating his family. He doesn't like how Roman, well, they're all family. But he doesn't like how Roman is treating his brother. Clearly, right? So the only way for Jimmy to get Jey from under Roman Reigns is to take that title away. For him to become the head of the table, man, that's the only way. Now, what other opportunity is Jimmy going to have to fight Roman Reigns for that world title? The Royal Rumble. That's it. He has to go out there and win this Royal Rumble. Now, how awesome would it be if Jimmy and Jay are actually like the last four in the ring, or maybe it goes down to like the last two and Jimmy wins, and then Roman and Jay, they all celebrating like, yeah, Jimmy, now I don't have to defend my title at all WrestleMania. They're like, oh no, Uso, I want to be the head of the table. I want a chance to be the one to provide for the whole family. Why not me, Uso? I would love to see Jimmy and Roman Reigns get it on. You seen how good the feud was with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, so why not do a Jimmy and Roman Reigns? You already, don't want to use your ace card in The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, right? Duh. So why not go ahead and have Jimmy and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? They already going to have a good feud. They already have a storyline in place. It's already going to be perfect. It's going to be building itself. It's already built. You already laid the foundation for it. The groundwork is done. All we need is Jimmy to win the Royal Rumble. Now, how cool would it be for someone that no one is expecting to win the Royal Rumble? It happens all the time. It happened with Roman Reigns one year where the crowd just out of nowhere was all cheering for Roman Reigns to win, and I believe you gave it to like Randy Orton or Batista or something like that year. And then the next year they wanted someone else to win, and then you gave it to Roman Reigns, but it was too late. The crowd was on somebody else. I'm sure if Jimmy comes into that Royal Rumble around like number 22, 23, the pop for Jimmy is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And I guarantee if he's in that last four, that last three, the crowd is going to be cheering for Jimmy every step of the way. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Now, what's cool about that is the Usos excel at storytelling. They excel at promos, out good inside that wrestling ring. Now, you seen what Jay was able to bring out of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was much more comfortable talking on the microphone. He was much more comfortable inside the match. Like everything about Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, Reigns looked good every single step of the way. And I think you're going to get that same type of reaction, that same type of Roman Reigns if you pair him up with Jimmy. Now, let's not stop there though. I did mention The Rock, right? They said by summertime we should be able to get, crowds back into the stadiums. That's what they're predicting. Now let's say we can get people back into the stadiums by SummerSlam. Then you can go ahead and do your Roman Reigns versus The Rock. It's going to be a big pop. SummerSlam isn't a small event. It's still one of the cornerstone pay-per-views of the WWE. So we could definitely run Roman Reigns and The Rock at SummerSlam. That's when Roman Reigns can finally capture that last stone that he needs to actually be the true head of the table, because at that point, there's no one else that can challenge Roman Reigns. I mean, you do got other people who are part of that Samoan dynasty and part of that family, but they're in different wrestling organizations right now. So unless they decide to come over, or, if they get signed or picked up, it's really no one else to actually challenge Roman Reigns for that spot as tribal chief. So if they can milk this all the way to this year's SummerSlam, where Roman Reigns can go against The Rock, and then you have the Usos actually turn on The Rock, and help Roman Reigns remain champion. And then we can have a legit heel Samoan dynasty, man. Let them be legit heels. No more Roman Reigns trying to bully them around or telling them what to do. And nothing like that. They will be even stronger as a collective. That's what I think. And I would love to see something like that to happen. So if Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble, go on to fight Roman at WrestleMania, hey, you heard it right here first. You heard it here first, all right? On to another note, man. I seen Big E, Intercontinental Champion. I like it. It looked like they're actually priming Big E for a Universal title push, man. That would be pretty awesome, because I think him and Roman Reigns, they have history dating. You had the Usos versus the New Day, stuff like that. So it's definitely history there. And if you continue to build this how I was building it, right, you're going to have a legit heel Jimmy and Jay with a legit heel Roman Reigns. Now, Big E, of course, finally get his chance at the Universal title. But of course, you got the two twins on the outside who's constantly interfering. So what are we going to have to do? What happens around that time? That's right. the draft, the WWE draft. If you bring the New Day back over to SmackDown, the New Day reunites, and then they have a feud with the Uso and the Samoan Dynasty, that's going to be fire. I built this thing all the way out to like October time, man. That's going to be fire. We can get the Usos and the New Day in the Hell in a Cell again. We can get Big E in the Hell in a Cell again. Man, I done built this out almost to WrestleMania, Royal Rumble next year. You know what I'm saying? But that's how much I've been thinking about it. It's just so much they could do. And if they continue to slow roll it, man, you got a lot of contenders over there right now. After Big E, I don't really see anybody left. Right now, you got to get past Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, it looked like they're going to probably end their feud at this Royal Rumble coming up. But being on the topic of reunions, man, you know what I've seen recently? I've seen the Tyson Kid maybe trying to get Davey Jr. back into the WWE. Now, if you remember, like when these guys first came on the scene, it was Tyson Kidd, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Natalya. They was the Hart Dynasty. The Hart Dynasty. It was a pretty cool trio, but you could tell they was young. It was a lot of raw talent there. They were just young, you know. They just had to really just get some traction behind them and really get going. You see Natalya's career. I think she's had a solid career. Granted, she's never really had a long reign, like you know, that year-long championship run like I think that she should have. And Tyson's career got ended prematurely due to that neck injury. But him and Cesaro was on fire as a tag team. Now, Davey Smith Jr. had been wrestling on other promotions like MOW and things of that nature. But I think that the Davey Boy Smith Jr. we got now, he's ready. If he managed to come back to WWE and chose to actually do that, I'm telling you, he looks like a champion. He looks 10 times more comfortable in the ring. He's on point. He will be primed to be a WWE champion. I think that would actually be a good look if him and Natalya like somehow paired back up. They can't be a tag team, of course, but maybe if she was like the manager role to really just keep her in the forefold of, you know, everything and let her actually manage Davey Boy Smith's career. And I think that would be a good pairing, man. I would like to see them together. I think that would be pretty awesome, man, if they managed to pull off something like that. But another thing, man, let's go ahead and talk about Impact Wrestling and AEW. Impact has still been doing this thing. They still have been on fire. We've yet to see like a true crossover between AEW and Impact as far as like any type of invasion or anything like that. But, I mean, you know, we're going to get matches with Kenny Omega coming up. He's going to be wrestling on Impact, so we'll see that. I can't wait more so until we get like maybe like a tag team from Impact, or until we get some more women over from Impact and they're actually on top of TNT, and we get to see exactly what's going to happen with these two promotions. Are they going to like, you know, have a war? Like I'm all for that. I'm all a fan of that. I remember when DX invaded WCW. That was awesome. Granted, they never actually got inside the building, but it was awesome nonetheless. Even when WWE finally bought out WCW and the WCW played that invasion angle, it was still kind of cool. It really definitely caught your eye. So I can imagine if they ran that type of angle nowadays with AEW. The only problem is nowadays, man, I'm going to tell you what. Everyone's too sensitive, man. The world is too sensitive. It's like you can't really do half of the things that we used to be able to see in the 90s. In the 90s, it was really like raw and uncut. You didn't know what you were going to see on TV at any given moment. So that was the beauty of that era, that attitude era. When WCW, they was getting as raw as raunchy as they had to. WWE, they would get as raw as raunchy as they had to get in order to, you know, compete with what WCW was doing. So that was cool, but we're not going to be able to get stuff like that. I don't think we're going to get too many people really pushing the envelope anymore. Like, imagine ECW back in the mid-90s. What? The stuff we would see on ECW? Man, I mean, it's no way they would put half of that stuff on TV today. Like, even Impact, they was running an angle with Tommy Dreamer where he was pretty much given like a wrestler's court. And they actually showed the gun, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised Impact even let them, you know, go that far as to show the gun. But if you have not really, ever like lived in the 90s era, like if you was like too young to really remember what was going on, go back and watch like the 90s. Like that Attitude Era, it wasn't the best of wrestling, no. But as far as what was going on, like these scripts that the creators came up with, it was nuts. It was like the gloves was off, man. Everyone was just doing whatever they had to do to get relevant, to get some pop, and to beat out the other company's ratings. There was something crazy, man. We had some creeper that was trying to sell Paige's address. That's like pretty sick, man. It was already a scary situation earlier on. Remember when Sonya Deville had that like stalker fan, who got her address and actually appeared at her house? So whoever would do something sick like that just to earn some money or get some money, like you really need to go back and reevaluate life, man. Like that's sick. So I'm glad she was able to catch that before it actually happened. I think she's actually suing that person. That's what they deserve, to be honest. Last little bit of news that I did see that was kind of interesting was about Vince McMahon not actually wanting to meet up with Selena Vega. I guess probably about the whole third party situation. You know how her stance. She feel like, hey, I should be able to do what I want. And I think she has a right to do so. I think she should be able to go do what she wants. I think she should be able to make money outside of WWE, and they shouldn't be able to have their hands in everybody's pockets and really dictate what they do. Now, if they want to dictate what they're able to say as far as talking about certain storylines or revealing certain match results or something like that, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But to say that they can't be on a third party, platform at all, it's kind of ridiculous. But it's funny because they say WWE went from not letting unhappy wrestlers go to then just releasing talent with upside who can actually have a really good career, all because of the COVID situation. So it's really going to be interesting to see how companies pan out after this whole pandemic thing is over, man. I think wrestlers are really going to take a stance on where they want to be, how they want their contracts, and I think they should. I think they should take more control at the negotiation table. So we're going to see what that leads to, man. But that's all I've really got. That's all I really want to talk to you guys about this week. But that was episode number 3. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn your notifications, all that, fun stuff and jazzy stuff that you're supposed to say at the end of your videos or probably before. I don't know. But whatever. Either or. Just do that. And make sure you follow The Wrestling Replay on Instagram at The Wrestling Replay. Alright? I'm Kato. It's been fun, but I'm out of here. Peace.